Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
A local grandmother comes forward and breaks her silence after her grandson is abused.
And I just feel like if they would have followed through with what they said they were going to do, I feel my personal opinion that Chase would be alive today.
A story that grabbed national headlines at the time. A local mother charged with murder after police find her son's body in a freezer.
Yeah, new tonight, another family comes forward saying their child was also abused by that mother, Ajurde France. It happened when he visited her home, and authorities made some huge mistakes in handling their case. So let's bring in Local 4 investigator Karen Drew, because she has the exclusive, Karen.
Yeah, Kim and Devin, this is all about accountability. Why wasn't more done? Tonight, we tracked down another victim of Ajurde France. Police and prosecutors and family confirmed this child was abused by the Detroit mother back in 2018 when he was just 2 years old and was visiting France's home. The reason why this story is so important is if authorities would have handled that case the right way, there's a chance France's son Chase would not be dead.
He was beat up pretty bad, like black eyes, wounds all on his private area, and he was hurting.
That's how Patricia Davis remembers what her grandson looked like when she picked him up back in 2018 after he spent some time at the home of Ajurde France. She says he was soaked in urine.
So I had picked him up to put him in her mom's tub to wash him, but when I went to pick him up, he started screaming and crying, like, like you gasping for air.
The boy was brought to the hospital. Sources telling me CPS as well as Detroit police were involved, and the case eventually ended up in court.
I remember the lawyer stating to us that she was going to lose her children and that she will begin locked up for her crimes.
We've learned France was charged with third-degree child abuse, later reduced to fourth-degree child abuse, and only served 2 years probation. Her children were returned to her.
And I just feel like if they would have followed through with what they said they were going to do, I feel my personal opinion that Chase would be alive today. I blame them because they had the upper hand. Meaning protective services, because the judge is going to react off the notes.
Now, I did reach out to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office on how could this mother only get 2 years probation. I was told in a statement France had no prior criminal history, no CPS history prior to 2018. Now, the offer made at the time also took into account the severity of the injuries to the child and that France would have no further contact with the victim. I posted the full statement from the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office on Click On. Meantime, Child Protective Services. Kim and Devin, that's the question. What is going on? I did ask the department today. I got a familiar response. They can't discuss specifics of CPS cases. I can't tell you how much this infuriates me.
Well, that's a problem because CPS often use, we can't discuss this because it involves the safety of a child.
Right.
We hear that, you hear that time and time again.
And I respect a child's privacy. We don't necessarily are saying that we have to share someone's name, but there's so much more they can do to be transparent. They can talk about how many times they visit the home. Sure. What was the reaction? What was the follow-up? What about these agents? Are they being held accountable? I mean, I have to tell you, in all these years, I have not received more CPS complaints to our newsroom than ever, and 2 of them are children who are dead.
And this is the kind of lack
and we
of
can't speak about it. Do not worry. I'm on it.
Yeah.
I'm not. That's not a good enough answer.
Right. Okay. Thanks, Karen.
Well, the death toll grows in the July 4th parade shooting in Highland Park, Illinois.
Police confirm a 7th victim has died. More than 30 people were wounded in the attack. The suspect remains in custody and has been talking with investigators. Police still believe he acted alone and fired randomly into the crowd. Police say the gunman fired more than 70 rounds with an AR-15 style gun.
We are hearing about the heroic actions from members of the community that were out celebrating yesterday when they instinctively jumped into action to help those who'd been wounded. Nick Monticelli, live from Highland Park, Illinois, tonight with more on what they had to say. Nick?
Devin, good evening to you. So you can see the scene behind me still very active. This is where everything happened, where the shooter perched on top of that roof, where the victims went running for their lives. But we can also talk about those heroes that jumped into action. In talking about the victims, we now know from the city that they range in age from 35 years old all the way up to 88 years old. But there would have been more, there could have been more, if it weren't for all these strangers jumping in and doing anything they could think of to try to save their lives.
A harrowing experience that you never hope that anyone has to go through.
Their smoothie shop on Central Avenue in Highland Park isn't a massive store, but during a mass shooting, it'll hold all the lives that need saving. Matt and Lindsay Meltzer were working Independence Day morning, waiting for the parade to march by.
All of a sudden we saw the high school band running and someone yelled shooter, and then we just, were shoveling in as many people as we could take.
Shoveling all those people into their basement, into safety.
There were tons of kids, there were pregnant women in our basement.
And there were so many people down there, ordinary people who do extraordinary things. Did a school teacher with the kids playing games. You do what you can in the moment.
Evidence of those moments still lay in the middle of Central Avenue. Investigators, local and federal, spent hours here today trying to get a clearer picture of how this unfolded, while details of the victims slowly emerged. For instance, one is a grandfather, another a preschool teacher. Dr. Wendy Binstock Rush ran into the street to help. 5 victims already passed. She found the one still alive.
And once we got to the hospital, we worked for about another 20 or 30 minutes, and unfortunately he did not survive.
So back out here live, you can see all of those chairs, strollers, coffee cups still overturned as people just got up and started running as fast as they can away from those bullets that were raining down on them from the rooftop, which is just over my right shoulder there. We've learned some new information about potential charges. So the county prosecutor is about to hold a press conference about 10 minutes from now to update the status of the investigation and to announce charges against the suspected gunman. That means that gunman will be in court tomorrow facing a judge for the very first time. We're live here in Highland Park, Illinois. Nick Monticelli, Local 4.
All right, and hopefully we'll be able to update those charges in that situation here before this newscast is out. All right, Nick. Time now to get a first check of our weather as the heat and humidity have marched back in.
It's definitely out there. Let's get over to Andrew now with a look at what we can expect tonight, and that includes a chance of rain. Andrew.
That's right, Kimberly and Devin. That chance occurs later on tonight, closer to 9, 10 o'clock tonight. And in the meantime, the heat and humidity still with us, even at this late hour in the day. 90 over at City Airport. Now look at these temperatures. 85 in Mount Clemens, 88 in Monroe. But it's not only about how hot it is, it's about how hot it feels. That can really sneak up on you. When you factor in the humidity, 88 turns into 97. 96 is what it feels like over in Adrian. So these heat indices as much as 5 to 9, even close to 10 degrees higher than where temperatures are. It feels like 91, for example, in Mount Clemens, even though the temperature is 85. So continue to monitor your activity outdoors, limit strenuous activity, even as the sun sets, drink plenty of water. Not much in the way of shower activity now, but you can see some off to our west. Thunderstorms out in Wisconsin, but here you can see in south central Michigan a few showers that are starting to form here out toward Coldwater. So areas generally south of Detroit, mainly south of I-94, including Lenawee and Monroe counties, may see a few showers and thunderstorms before this evening is over. And temperatures remain on the very warm side, 80s all the way through 10 p.m. We'll talk about what happens afterward overnight tonight and your 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, Andrew. Our weekly look now at the coronavirus situation here in Michigan. Numbers are trending down. State reporting 13,102 new cases over the past 7 days, nearly 1,900 cases per day. We've also lost another 64 lives to the virus. This week's case count, though, down more than 1,000 cases from the previous week.
Detroit Police Chief James White providing an update after another violent weekend across the city. Take a look at video from one of the scenes Saturday night. A DoorDash delivery driver was shot and killed inside an apartment complex in the area of Bagley and Rosa Parks. Priya Mann joins us live. Priya, the chief says there's zero tolerance for this senseless violence.
Yeah, that's right, Kim. You know, the chief says despite a 15% reduction in homicides, he is outraged by the gun violence happening across the country and here in Detroit. You know, you mentioned the murder of that DoorDash driver. Hours after that killing, a 19-year-old was shot and killed in downtown Detroit.
We're going to make sure that those who victimize our community, those who are pulling triggers in our community, are taken into custody and taken before.
Detroit police need your help identifying these people after a 19-year-old was shot and killed in downtown Detroit. Police say the man in the middle is considered armed and dangerous.
Inexplicably, guns were pulled and one person fired shots into the crowd, striking and fatally wounding our victim, and it's my understanding that another person was shot in the ankle.
Police are looking for this gray 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Hours before that murder on Saturday evening, a DoorDash driver in Corktown was shot and killed.
3 people were inside a vehicle when they saw a man in a black ski mask starting towards them, and then started shooting, and sadly he was fatally shot.
Last week, this video of a man shooting into a home on Detroit's west side went viral. That man was arrested. Chief White says we all play a role in ending gun violence.
But we're tired of the senseless violence. We're tired of it. And, you know, as I talked about, it's happening all around the country. We saw what happened at the parade. We saw what happened in Philly. It's just senseless gun violence around the country right now, and we've got to get a handle on it, and we've got to get these streets under control in the right way.
And back to the shooting of that 19-year-old that happened early Sunday morning. Detroit police are looking for this gray 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee with Michigan license plate EMK 8273. Anyone with information is asked to call Detroit police. Reporting live from downtown, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Okay, Priya, thanks.
A landscaper is in the hospital tonight after being hit and pinned against a home by a car. Happened this morning on Hilton Street near 10 Mile in Southfield. Police say the man was working for Jasmine Landscaping when he was hit by a woman upset over not receiving a quote. Victor Williams joins us with more.
Quite the wild scene here in Southfield. We are told the driver of that sedan decided to drive up onto the sidewalk into the back of this home right here. Take a look at footage from Drone 4 showing the track marks in the backyard leading to this now taking place. The landscaper being pinned between her vehicle and the brick of this home right here. Look closely and you can see the dent from that impact. Quite the scary situation playing out in broad daylight.
They were scared. He said he was scared, and I told him, I'm like, you know, this is something that's never happened here.
Tonight, a 32-year-old landscape worker is lucky to be alive after being intentionally run over and pinned to the brick wall of a home nearby.
She chased him down with the car, went up the driveway, ran after him like with the car, and pinned him against the house and car.
We're not sure what circumstances led to the 50-year-old woman from Dearborn Heights flooring it and running over the man, but 3 workers from the Jasmine Landscaping business in St. Clair Shores were weed whacking when this Volvo started speeding towards them with the angry driver behind the wheel.
I don't know what she was saying, but she was yelling at him. He said she was cussing at him and telling him that you guys didn't want to cut my lawn because I was African American. And then she went after the other guy that was cutting.
Apparently the woman inside started calling the men racist, but she wasn't satisfied after the worker was trapped either.
He crawled out and started, she got out of the car and started pulling his hair. And then the cops came and pulled her, dragged her off.
She even had a few curse words for the officers as she was taken into custody. Southfield Deputy Chief Aaron Hughley says it's a set of events they don't even fully understand themselves.
We don't know why. It appears to be unprovoked, but it's definitely deliberate and intentional. He's been taken, the victim's been taken to a local hospital. He's listed in stable condition.
And that landscaper is believed to have a fractured pelvis with the impact of that car hitting the side of the home. It's a miracle that there were not any other injuries. For now, we are reporting live in Southfield. Victor Williams, Local 4.
That one is bad enough. All right, Victor.